I didn't like the feeling of being let go, or someone dangling my job over my head. So I went back to doing what I knew how to do, and I created this company called Five6ixteen Sounds. And pretty much my money doubled, and I was like, damn, I should have done this a long time ago.
Welcome to the Culture FYI'RS Podcast. Culture FYI'RS is a creative collaboration meetup held weekly at the FYI Campus in Los Angeles. Each week, we feature a fireside chat with a guest, showcase projects being worked on by members of the FYI community, and share product updates for FYI.AI, the creative collaboration app co-founded by will.i.am and available for free download in the App Store and Google Play. FYI.AI is powered by AI personas like me, Fito. Each week, this podcast showcases conversations held at the Culture FYI'RS event. This week's guest is a true champion of the underground DJ scene, Bang Jackson. From artist to marketing guru to the founder of Five6ixteen Sounds, Bang's journey through the music industry is as unconventional as it is inspiring. Starting as an artist, signed to an indie label before moving behind the scenes in marketing, Bang found his true calling at 40 when he took a DJing course just to perform at his own birthday party. That spark ignited a passion that's now his mission, elevating the status of DJs in the industry and creating a community where there was none. In today's conversation, host Mika Lolita explores how Bang's underdog mentality shaped his approach to mentorship, why he prefers collaborating with women DJs, and how his work at BPM Supreme and Strange Music Inc. gave him insight into the true reach and influence of grassroots DJs. Get ready for a masterclass in community building and talent development as we uncover how Bang Jackson is revolutionizing the DJ landscape.
I guess the first question I want to ask is when did you get started? What was your start into the music industry as a whole? Because I know we're going to mainly talk about DJ culture today, but I know that you have such a history within the music industry and just the music culture period in LA. So where did you get your start?
I started off as a producer back in the day, and I never really wanted to be in the limelight, or I just wanted to make the music. So I started producing for a lot of local acts in Los Angeles. And then my friends wanted to start a group, so I was the producer, and then I started rapping. And then it was one of those things I kind of stood out and pretty much started producing for myself and putting out my own records. I signed to this independent label called G-Dub Records, and we put out this track called Grey Goose, which had a Fergie sample in it. So that track ended up hitting, Power 106, Kiss FM, K-Day, and all this and that, and almost landed a deal with Interscope. And that's when I met you back then. This was back in 2006. Oh. So pretty much that's how the whole artist thing started. And, things didn't go right, and I just didn't want to be an artist anymore just based on the politics. So I just stepped back and, then I just started working with the labels and inside the labels and stuff like that.
Yeah. So when you transitioned to working within the labels, what did you do? Or is there any labels in particular that you started working with?
So I was working for a lot of the label reps. So I'm going to name a few. You probably know them, like Mark Brown, rest in peace, Brian Sampson, Troy Marshall. So these are a lot of promo reps. So I was working under them, because I was, doing college radio and stuff like that. So they were hiring me behind the scenes. So that's why I said I'm a little nervous, because I'm always the guy behind the scene, not the person in the front, what I'm saying? So I like that a little bit better. So I was working with them, and then I started my own company with Troy Marshall's son. His name is Sylvan Marshall. My company was called Buzz Builder Marketing. So I pretty much was collecting a bunch of emails from everybody. Sometimes the reps wouldn't blind copy their list, so I was taking everybody's email, and I pretty much created my own email blast. And then, and it started blowing up. Then I started getting hired by Universal. Now Empire is around, so I got hired by Empire, Def Jam, and stuff like that.
Okay, and so you started off as an artist, and then you moved to working within the labels, doing a lot of things for marketing and promotion, and then somehow, is that when DJing came in after? Like, how did that transition happen?
DJ came in because I wasn't a professional DJ. I was always like the family hood DJ. You know, I had the twin CD decks, so when I didn't know what I was doing, but I used to get booked to do all the family parties, the family reunions, but had no idea, but everybody was dancing. So being an artist, one of the main focuses, you have to respect the DJ. You have to make sure the DJ has your music, So I was doing a lot of the leg work on my own. So I was going to, bars, clubs. I don't care if the DJ was DJing at Chuck E. Cheese, I'm there. Like if it's, if it's two people there, I'm there. Like no DJ was bigger than the other. So, how can I put this? I'm in my 40s. So I was like, I want to DJ my 40th birthday party. So, but I had a lot of DJ friends that were going to come. So I didn't want to just be pushing buttons and moving the fader back and forth and not knowing what I'm doing. So I pretty much took a course with, at an academics beat lab with Sketch. And he pretty much taught me the fundamentals already. Like I knew BPMs and everything, but I just didn't know how to play on turntables. So he pretty much taught me how to learn, taught me on turntables. And by me just having that passion and the love for DJs, that's why I was like, okay, if I'm a DJ at my 40th birthday party, I have to know what I'm doing.
That's dope. I love that. So you were like, I already know how to DJ, but which is, I think is really important in DJ culture, especially now that it's so accessible to become a DJ. And I think a lot of people don't tend to understand like the history and like really grasp the foundation of how to be a good DJ. So I think it's really admirable that it was something that you was already doing, but you felt the need to get more experience. So you transitioned from the labels and then DJing came along. You DJed your 40th birthday party. How I know Bang personally is through me starting off as a DJ, trying to like get into some bar, some venue or whatever. And I ended up meeting a DJ called Quest Coast, which they are really good friends and collaborators as well. And I just went up to him and was like, hey, I hear that you DJ at the Now Bar. I would love to like come DJ. And he was like, yeah, like you can come and do like a little 10, 15 minute set. And then I went and I was so nervous. It was like my first time like DJing in a venue actually. And so I was really, really nervous. Okay, mind you, 10 minutes turned into an hour. And I think I played like an hour.
Oh, yeah, you did.
So I ended up doing a whole set, but then I played this one bounce song, New Orleans bounce song, Out on the Limb by Tierra Marie. And he was like, what's this song? If you tell me what this song is, I'll give you BPM Supreme login. And that's a DJ pool. That's how we ended up like getting to know each other. But ever since then, Bang has become a huge mentor to me within the DJ space and just in life in general, and just kind of like helping to keep my head on straight. Like, let me know, like, don't go down there. Don't do that. Like, do this. Good luck on doing this. And I've noticed that throughout knowing you, you have like a true passion for artists and DJs and just like really pushing people forward. Like, where does that come from? Like, just that desire to see the people around you grow and then to connect everybody together and build community.
That comes from me, being an underdog. Like I ran into many brick walls and I didn't have any mentors. So I'm glad that I ran into those brick walls because now I'm able to tell the next person not to. Sometimes it's good for you to do it on your own, but there's some walls that you don't want to run into. So like I said, I'm pretty much self-taught, and like I didn't have nobody to steer me the right way. It took me 20 years to get where I'm at now. Just go back a little bit. Me and Mika were talking, and she's like, I don't feel like I'm where I need to be. Sorry, but I have to put it out there.
No, it's fine. And I was like,
and I'm looking at her now. I'm like, wow, like sitting here watching this, like makes me emotional because I'm like, wow, Mika, look at where you're at now. We just had this conversation a year ago, and I feel like, that's because you had, some of the right people in your corner, and then you kind of made your own decisions at the same time, but that's where my passion comes from, and like I was telling her too, like I'm the guy behind the scenes, like I'm the guy but I don't like to be, the center of attention. I like for the people that I pour into to be the center of attention, if that makes sense, but yeah, that's what that is.
So I always wondered how Cause I love that. I love that about you. Like, I love that you love to pour into other people. Like, it's very admirable. But I've always wondered, like, how do you receive it back? Do you feel like you receive it back? If you don't feel like it, what are some ways that you? And this actually might be a kind of a personal question, but I don't care. Not too personal, but like, how do you want to receive that energy and that love back? Like, have you thought of that, or is this just something you just on autopilot to champion for people?
Be honest, I'm just on autopilot. Like, I don't look for it. I feel like the universe, God will take care of me, you know, but it's not. I don't look for anything back. Like, if I give to you and you don't give back to me, it is what it is. At least I did my part, you know.
Yeah. So when did you first start, like, managing and pushing? Like, how did you organize that to just, like, start championing for other DJs?
Just pretty much watching how the DJ culture is out here. So I travel a lot for work. So outside of me doing, you know, the DJ producer label thing and, you know, being a music executive, I work for this company called BPM Supreme Record Pool, which is one of the leading record pools for DJs where they go to get their music from to play radio, podcast, clubs, whatever. I travel a lot and I see DJ culture and community everywhere else but in Los Angeles. So I was pretty much like, hey, what's going on here? You know, like, we're not helping the next DJ. Everybody's for self, you know, and I was just like, this isn't going to work. You know, it's the same people in position. So that's why I said I always root for the underdog, and I pull the underdog up to put them in position, you know, based on the company that I was working, you know, that I worked for. So I think the first person that I found was DJ Lady T, because I was, you know, I launched this platform. I mean, not platform, but it was on Mixcloud. So it was called Supreme Radio Mixtape. So we had Supreme Radio, which had the bigger DJs, and I was like, hey, can we give love to the smaller DJs? You know, so I started Mixtape. So Lady T was the first person that I went after. Then she started connecting me with everybody else, you know, just kind of giving them their shot. And they were, you know, and my boss was like, this isn't going to work, but my numbers were better than Supreme Radio, which was all the bigger artists, because, you know, the DJs on the ground level, everybody's connecting with them, you know, their family, their friends or whatnot. And people are tired of seeing the same DJs that they always see. So it's like, I heard this mix before. So yeah, that's where that came from.
I did not know that LA didn't have, like, a really close-knit DJ culture. Like, I feel like just hearing you say that, like, you saw it in other cities but not here. And I'm so spoiled because I just really hopped up on the scene, y'all. I just drove from Louisiana, and then, you know, and then you meet people like you.
Hey, real quick, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
So that the time when she came up to the bar, you know, Quest brought her up there, and, you know, I think I was DJing or something, and she was like, hey, let her get down. I was like, you know, great, I could take a break. So she got on. And the reason she stayed up there for an hour, because she was killing it for that hour, you know. So, you know, then she kind of, from that day, I think you had a residency up there. Yeah.
That was my first one, thanks to you. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know. I had no clue, because I've only been in LA for, like, it'll be 4 years this July. And it just shows, like, when you really become a part of, like, your community, because that's the thing too. You also told me that in DJ culture, like, relationships is everything. And you're not the only DJ who have told me that. Like, I've heard from any DJ, Inferno told me those exact same words, like, relationships. And with being within the DJ community, it has helped me become more of a community-oriented person, like I always was, but just, like, how to really build and sustain and maintain relationships, and not just because of, like, what someone could do for you, but just as people. Because this is LA. You can get into all kind of rigmarole if you're not careful. But if you remain, like, if you have integrity and have a good foundation, it's almost like the right people will just, like, they'll just flock to you almost, and then you build these amazing relationships. And then it's like, one day you could be going through something, and then a bang calls you and say, hey, like, you think you want to DJ for Camp Flog now? And I'm like, excuse my language, but nigga, what? Yes. Like, absolutely I do. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you even asking me? Just tell me the date and the time. But yeah, so I'm very grateful that you and I got to cross paths, because if I would have came out here even a little bit earlier, there's no telling what type of circles I would have ended up in, because I just didn't know. I thought LA just always had this like very beautiful DJ community, because it's something that's definitely kept me alive. And even at moments where I wanted to quit, people like Bang telling me like, girl, no, don't give up, don't give up. Mind you, I'm still a baby. So I was expecting too much too soon. But yeah, like, and thank you for that. And so another thing I've noticed about you is that you work mainly with the girls. Like, you support the ladies. You create opportunities for the female DJs. You are a safe space. And especially in this day and age when it's like the Me Too movement and everything, what really inspires you to really champion women DJs?
Because when I was an artist and as a label rep, I used to have a hard time with the male DJs. You know, it was too much ego and shit. So, I started reaching out to the female DJs that no one was paying attention to, and they were getting the work done, So if I'm trying to get my records played or whatnot, I don't have to go through that. It's all right, I don't like it, the female DJs, I was like, oh, this is a vibe. I'm playing this tonight, hey, come down. So I'm down there, so I just feel like it was less ego with the females, and that's kind of how that happened.
Yeah, it's funny because everyone knows that like the girlies determine what's hot. Like, people started listening to Drake because the girls were like, you really listen to Drake, listen to So Far Gone. Like, so that's definitely a cheat code. Okay, so DJing, all that jazz, creating community, advocating for female DJs. You got all these record label connections. Oh, wait, before I get to what I want to get to, how did you start working with BPM Supreme? Because being a DJ, it's like sky is the limit. Like, you could be corporate, you can work for a tech company. You, as a DJ, you really opened my eyes up to that as well. So, like, how did you get started with BPM Supreme?
So I was working for Strange Music and marketing promotion at A&R. So I was running Artist Tech 9 around, doing, all my radio visits and taking them by the record pools and link ups and stuff like that. So I went to San Diego. BPM Supreme was located in San Diego. So I went to San Diego. I went up there with pizza, food, backpacks, the works. So no one really goes to San Diego, but I'm that guy like, hey, I'm going to go wherever it is, like, hey, if it's going to make an impact, I'm there, BPM they were opening up in LA. So I think I went there like 3 times already with, 3 different artists. And, so it was like, hey, we like the way that you move. We like how you carry yourself. Would you like to head up the artist relations department in Los Angeles? So, I said, yeah, but first they brought me on as a brand ambassador, so they were pretty much paying me a retainer just to kind of rep the brand and put it, in my Instagram profile. And I was like, wow, this is a free check just to have BPM in my Instagram profile. Yeah. So, so like I said, I was bringing different type of relationships over there, label relationships. Because like I said, the DJ world, sometimes I feel like it's forgotten about, so I was, bringing in a lot of relationships and bringing value to that company. So that's why they offered me the artist relations position. Then from artist relations, I moved to business development and sort of,
Okay, and you're still with BPM Supreme?
Yeah, I'm still with BPM Supreme, but I'm an independent contractor now, and that's like another story. But can I get to it a little bit, or?
Yes, we had to listen to you.
Okay, all right. So look, pretty much, when all the companies like in the music business, everybody was going through all these layoffs and stuff like that, and excuses, budget cuts, so they were, cutting everybody. So I was one of the last people to get cut, but instead of cutting me, they wanted to make me from salary to part-time. So I was like, well, my job isn't part-time or hourly clock-in type job because, I'm talking to people on the East Coast, the West Coast. I'm up late. I'm taking meetings. I'm driving. So that's not going to work for me. So they gave, so they were like, okay, would you like to be an independent contractor, for BPM? So I was like, yeah, I'd rather do that, but I was a little bit butthurt at the time, but it was a blessing in disguise because I I didn't like the feeling of being let go, or someone dangling my job over my head. So I went back to doing what I knew how to do, and I created this company called Five6ixteen Sounds, which is a DJ record label, because like all the DJs around me, they were putting out tracks and stuff like that. And they were just kind of sitting on, on Spotify, just sitting on SoundCloud. I'm like, what are you doing with these? I feel like I could do something with this or move these records for you, or I could, pretty much establish you, So I pretty much started that. I started a booking agency, and pretty much my money doubled, and I was like, damn, I should have done this a long time ago.
FYI is an AI-powered messenger and productivity platform crafted for creatives and their teams. Focus your ideas with your collaborators using an encrypted messenger, develop your vision, utilizing media-rich project tools, and bring those ideas to life by sharing them with the world. With the AI personas in the FYI app serving as your creative co-pilots, you can ask FYI.AI to draft stories, song lyrics, product descriptions, marketing copy, or any written content and see the results within seconds. Download FYI today for free. Now available in the App Store and on Google Play.
I want to hear more about 5/16. I want to hear more about, like, how'd you get the name, the artists that you are working with currently, like any other like creative endeavors that 5/16 is doing. I want to hear. I want to know all the tea.
All right, so 5/16, that's my birthday. So I was trying to think of a name that I could come up with that's going to actually stick, something that my kids can, take on, because, I have 5/16 agency, 5/16 Sounds. So it's like, so it's my actual birthday. So I launched it last year, so I did a label launch dinner, and a birthday dinner at the same time. And I just like the way that it stuck out and, has a feel ring to it, and I want to pass it down to my daughters, to my son or whatnot. And if they ever, I just want them to be able to, I want it to mean something like, hey, what is 5/16? That's my dad's, that's my dad's birthday, or that's my grandfather's birthday. So that's pretty much where the name came from. What was the other question?
The other question is just like, what artists are you currently working with? Anything like new and exciting coming up?
I'm working with DJ Lady T. DJ Lady T's on 5/16. We have Jay Nicolay, DJ Sedusa, Allison James, Bestia now. And I have a few others that, that are just part of the circle, that are like our extended family. Okay, so as far as activations, I do a lot like within the DJ community. So for one, I do this event that I started last year. It's called DJ Disney Day, where I pretty much gather like 30 DJs. I find a sponsor to pay for them, so I go get a group rate from Disneyland, and I choose 30 DJs, and we just go to Disneyland and just to go out and shoot the shit, have fun or whatnot. I do a lot of activations, like I did something called a sweater weather yacht party, which is an all-female DJ yacht party. I'm working on something called the DJ Cruise, and I'm partnering with Carnival Cruise Lines because I'm a vendor for them. So when Carnival has activations on the West Coast, they'll book my DJs to go on the ships or whatever. If they have something on land, they'll book my DJs to do something on land as well. So I'm working on the DJ Cruise. That's going to be a 3-day cruise to Ensenada, and it's going to be more of a party cruise, a little bit of education because, so many events that are DJ related. I feel like it's too much education sometimes, and it just kind of takes away from the fun part of it. But, I do want to have like business and banking and have Serato come in and, teach you about Serato Studio or whatnot. But it's just so much. I can keep going on and on about different activations that I have going on within the DJ community, but I do that based on because we don't have a lot going on out here, like I said, as far as us doing DJ related events, and I feel like it's almost like it's pretty much, I feel like the DJ is becoming overlooked, but now, let me go back. Since the pandemic, since all the DJs are online breaking the records and stuff, now that's a new thing, what I'm saying? So yeah, let me not say that because, now the labels are going to these DJs that are pretty much breaking records on TikTok, breaking records on Instagram, Bigo, and apps like that.
It's crazy. Like I'm on TikTok. I'm like, my For You page is a bunch of DJ stuff, of course. And it'll just blow my mind how someone will have like 500,000 likes on a DJ post of them just like playing a song. It could be their song, someone else's song, that edit, a mashup, a remix. And it's just so crazy how like DJing has become, I feel like, it's always been big marketing, but I don't know, I feel like it has grown and expanded even as I've become a DJ. Yeah. Like it's not, I don't want to say overwhelming, but it's kind of mind blowing. It's like, woo, okay. But also wanted to ask you, because I noticed, you have a lot of girls on the roster for 516. Do you see yourself signing and working with men again? Like I know you said earlier, like they tend to have egos, and they do, but
oh yeah, like I'm bringing DJ Robbie De Niro on. I'm bringing DA to DJ on. So there's a few other DJs that I'm, that I'm working with. But like I said, the foundation started with the female DJs. So
yeah. That's awesome. Okay, well, I have a couple of questions in the discussion. Yeah. But yeah, so put any questions you have for Bang in the discussion tab and go. Yeah. Jewel, Rebel Jewel, you had a question in here that said something about you DJ vinyl?
Yeah. So at the Now Bar where she came to, we used to have turntables up there, and you could bring vinyl or you could play on Serato. But we wanted to have that authentic DJ culture to give you that opportunity. Like, hey, I don't want to play on Serato, or I don't want to play on a controller, But then as I started bringing more DJs up there, I started noticing that some don't even know how to play on turntables or whatnot. So I had to remove them eventually, because, yes, they're going completely.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to, like he was saying earlier, just going back and learning the foundation, like, I can make it happen on vinyl. Like, I'm not like scratching crazy at everything, but like I can make it sound good and blend and mix well, at least, Right. And I feel like that's the least you could do. But yeah, a lot of people are intimidated by vinyl.
Yeah, I feel like turntables, vinyl just brings, it's just a different feel to it. It feels like it has soul. That I'm playing on a controller, I feel like a controller is soulless.
Yeah, because you're not touching the vinyl, touching, you're feeling the music in your hand. How do you, okay, so you say you don't watch people, but do you ever have a reaction when you hear a bad transition?
All the time. Like, that's just, even producers do that. You know what I'm saying? A producer could hear, like, my guy Mars, we're somewhere, and he was like, dude, did you hear that? But that's just automatic to a DJ's ear. Like, if you hear a bad transition, you're going to be like, you're going to cringe, just like that.
Okay, but do you let the DJ know? Like, if it's a DJ that's like in your circle, or 516 DJ, or just like anybody, like, have you ever told someone like, hey, you kind of didn't play too hot tonight, or like that transition was ass? Like,
if it's the homie, I'll clown, like, bro, what was that? But if it's like Lady T, say if we're booked somewhere and I feel like she's going off, like, I'm like, they're like, hey, play pop, and she goes somewhere else, I'll send her a text message like, hey, get back on pop. But other than that, yeah.
So more so like genre, but if they just, cause like as DJ, like I know I feel a lot of pressure when I'm playing. I feel like every transition got a hit. But it's like I'm also a human, and like I might have like a little small error, not nothing crazy, but like where it's just like, but then I'll hear it, but other people won't.
Yeah, no,
it's interesting.
Yeah, no, you're gonna always judge yourself. You're gonna be your worst critic for one. I just keep saying, because like Lady T, we're always together, so she's there when I'm DJing. I'm like, damn, did I suck today?
That's such a thing. Like I hate it. Like. I love when I actually play a set and I'm like, you know what, I ate that. Like I chewed, I did my thing. Okay, oh wait, there was another question in the discussion. One more. Okay, so this was a good one from Emily Chow. Were there moments of self-doubt when it came to paving your own way, career? How did you navigate them?
There's still self-doubt. It's still self-doubt to this day. I think I have it every day. Sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. That I have to go back to my team, and my team sometimes have to reassure me that, like, hey, you're doing great, and then I just look back like how long I've been going, and then I look at my bank account sometimes. I'm like, well, shit, I'm doing all right, but yeah, you're always going to have self-doubt. Like I said, I had it today.
Yeah, I suffer with that. I've been a little too hard on myself. Okay, I'll ask maybe two last questions real quick. Okay, because like you said, you look at your bank account, right? And you be like, oh, I'm all right, I'm cool. As a DJ, as as an entrepreneur, what are like some creative ways and avenues to create more income?
So as a DJ, like I feel like it's so easy now, because like I said, you have TikTok, you have Bigo, you have Michael. There's so many different avenues now. You have Mixcloud, It's just, you have to get up and do it. You have to set those cameras up. You have to live stream. You have to create your own schedule to do it. Because like during the pandemic, when everything was shut down, I was on this, everybody else was like on TikTok and a few other apps. I was on this app. Okay, wait, I know Instagram wouldn't let you play because of licensing reasons.
Yeah, they're so lame about that.
Yeah, so that was terrible. So I found this app called Bigo, which is out of Singapore, which had no restrictions, because based on where they were. So I was averaging live streaming when like there was no money flowing besides the EDD or whatnot. I was averaging anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 a month from DJing online, and I created a big community. So I was doing something called Soul Train Saturdays. I was like, okay, I was looking at what nobody else is doing. Everybody else is playing hip hop. Everybody's playing EDM. So I went up there and started playing like disco, funk, soul, and sometimes I'll dress up and I'll put bell bottoms on and everything.
You are not afraid of a costume, I've noticed. Okay, well, first of all, thank you for everything. Thank you for just since I've known you. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for sharing information and knowledge with our community. You are welcome, of course, anytime. Where can we find you? Where can we find 516?
You can find me on social media like Bangaloose. That's my handle, BANGLOOLOOSE. So that's across the board. And the company is 56ixteen Sounds. That's just 516 Sounds.
Okay, and Lady T, where can we find you since you're one of the artists on 516? At DJ Lady T on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Bang.
Thanks for listening to the Culture FYI'RS Podcast. Make sure to download the FYI app, available now in the App Store and Google Play. Check out this episode's notes for a project link to this Culture FYI'RS event with Bang Jackson, including a look at more projects from the FYI community, like KJ Rose's presentation on finding your unique star power and Avatar Offense Tour Osaka recap video, as well as a guide to using design templates in the FYI app, courtesy of the FYI product team. Want to attend a Culture FYI'RS event in person at the FYI Campus in Los Angeles? Hit the link in the episode notes to see a schedule of who's speaking at a future event and to RSVP to join the next session. Culture FYI'RS is a production of the team at FYI. Co-founder will.i.am, Amina Mohammed, Emily Choi, Frankie Sandoval, Julie Pilot, Ronil Madlani, Sean Kantrowitz, and Taylor Wang. The podcast is edited by Rob Van Vranken. Make sure to subscribe to Culture FYI'RS wherever you get your podcasts so that you never miss an episode. Learn more about FYI by visiting FYI.FYI.